Welcome once again to A Badge and a Mic, an inside look at the Chelan County Sheriff's Office. And today we're talking traffic enforcement. We'll talk about the history of the traffic enforcement unit at Chelan County, and a little bit of the overview of their mission and the 3 E's of traffic enforcement. Welcoming Sergeant Dan McCue with the Chelan County Sheriff's Office Traffic Enforcement Unit. Dan, finally, nice to meet you.
And you, sir.
Really glad to have you as our guest this time out on A Badge and a Mic. Well, let's jump right in, Dan, and talk about the history of the traffic control enforcement in Chelan County.
Absolutely. So there was a few, like over the decades, I think a few attempts earlier in my career for sheriffs to start that up. It really took effect in its current form in 2013, at the beginning of 2013, and partnering with Public Works. So I was actually fortunate enough to be the first deputy on that, and then after I was promoted, was brought into it now. So we've been on the road for going on 12 years.
Now, as far as the mission of traffic enforcement, a lot of us may think we know, maybe we don't, but what is your mission?
The mission's obviously at its core is to just be making sure that we're contacting the motoring public. But the traffic safety enforcement here also routinely responds, obviously, to all things traffic, and is comprised of myself and then up to 3 deputies. Currently, we only have 2 working just because of staffing issues. We also work in a strong partnership, as I mentioned before, with Chelan County Public Works Department here. And the mission of this unit under the umbrella of the CCSO greater mission is to incorporate the 3 E's in everything we do. And so what that is in partnership with Public Works, we will strive to increase the traffic-related safety of the citizens we serve through public education, engineering improvements, and reasonable enforcement.
Now, what kind of specialized training does our traffic enforcement unit have?
Mostly it's centered around detection for impairment with any traffic unit. We also deal a lot with the commercial vehicle side, which we have one of our deputies who is training commercial vehicle inspections, and that works specifically to assist Public Works at the same time that it's working for the sheriff's office. And we have one of our other deputies is like a LiDAR radar detector certified technician. So he does all of the he oversees the calibration, which we use a company for, but he also teaches the courses on how to use the equipment. And then our speed trailers are obviously, we have 2 fully functional speed trailers that record information. So that's a big piece that drives what we do.
And I'll put it this way, in this day and time, what special challenges are there?
Well, I mean, we live in a tourist county, so we're always educating the motor public in a place where the motor public is constantly changing. I would say is probably one of our primary challenges. Citizens get frustrated because of what they perceive as maybe a speeding issue. I'll use as an example like Icicle Road, but that information is changing, or the people are changing. They're receiving that information constantly. So some things we do on the engineering side, working with Public Works, is then we make really well-marked speed zones, trying to get people's attention. We use a lot of orange diamonds. We'll use, for instance, on Icicle again, I think we have 4 35-mile-an-hour signs in a 2-mile stretch, which is heavily exceeding the RCWs and guidance for that, the engineering guidance for that.
Well, Sergeant Dan McCue, our guest this time out on A Badge and a Mic, an inside look at the Chelan County Sheriff's Office. And before we let you go, Dan, a little bit about yourself. I know you've been with the Sheriff's Office for nearly 25 years.
Yeah, I actually will start my 25th year on July 1st.
And to pull the curtain back a little bit, what do you like to do in our area for recreation?
Probably like a lot of people, I like to hunt, fish, and be outside doing outdoor activities.
Well, it's fantastic. Did you have any closing thoughts before we end up here?
No, I just like to share with folks the function of our team is often thought of to be like writing tickets. And to give an example real quick of what that looks like, last year we only cited 18% of our contacts to an infraction ratio. The education piece is huge. So, folks, when you're getting pulled over by an officer to tell you your lights are out, or it's a lot, oftentimes folks just don't know that they have an equipment violation. And that first one, we're just trying to really let you know to get it fixed to address the safety issue rather than bother you. And rarely, in only extreme circumstances, are infractions issued for those. We try to only really cite those folks in our area that are more egregious in their violations and give everybody else kind of a chance to correct the behavior.
Well, Dan, congratulations on your 25th year upcoming. We appreciate your service very much.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it.
All right, our guest this time out, Sergeant Dan McCue with the Traffic Enforcement Unit with our Chelan County Sheriff's Office. We've been talking about the history of the traffic enforcement, overview of the mission of traffic enforcement, and the 3 E's: education, enforcement, and engineering. And we certainly invite you to stay with us for our next podcast episode coming up soon. It's a badge and a mic with our Chelan County Sheriff's Office. Thanks for joining us, and you stay classy, Chelan County.